Riley Ottman bodies that ball. Ava Love, wide open bucket. She drifts through the air and knocks it home. So
play yet, but they play hard. They, I believe, play most of the time, not the first half yesterday, but most of the time, to the best of the ability the way they are currently constructed. I believe they're coached well. I believe they bought in. And all that means nothing to some of you, I understand, because they lost again last night. 65-60, Fresno State beats the Lobos in the pit last night. Lobos were down big in the first half, as much as 17 points. It was 41-26 at halftime. Orlando Robinson, the NBA prospect center for Fresno State, went to the bench with an ankle injury. And the Lobos staged a furious comeback, got to within 2, and never got over the hump and lose by 5. They are now 0-7 in conference play. It's the opening drive. Good morning to you. Happy, what day is today? Wednesday? Happy Wednesday to you. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, A. Maurice producing for us on the radio side, and Adrian on the TV side. How you doing?
What'd it do?
It feels a little bit like Groundhog's Day in regards to Lowell basketball, where I watch them and I think they're playing as well as they can. I think they're playing hard. I think at times out of control, at times in control. At times I look at it and I'm like, man, there's so much promise there. And I walk away from another close game, another close loss where they were within a possession inside a minute to go. And, you know, if they could just get over the hump, how much better would you feel? And yet I still walk away and I go, man, I'm seeing an improving team that just hasn't won a basketball game yet.
And you're just wondering, what's it going to take? It's no longer about not being in those close situations, not knowing what this team needs. Where it was multiple times you get one possession, couldn't get that next defensive stop. They went on a huge run, because I thought first half Fresno State was very good defensively.
Well, defensively and offensively. They didn't miss a damn shot.
Yeah, I thought defensively that's what set the tone for Fresno State, because they made life super difficult on the Lobos. They're switching up the defenses. They're picking them up full court, throwing some trap looks at them, not allowing the shooters to get going. And then you saw House started to get his smash, hit some shots. In the second half, they go on that big run they get in the game. They had the three-point shot you want. It's like, who's taking that shot? Let's give it to KJ Jenkins, because he hit the big one before to tie it late in games. Just didn't go down. And so the late rally was good to see, but you're just asking yourself, what's it going to take? Like, it just has to happen, because they put themselves in that position. This time it was a rally. Can't get it done. I don't know what it's going to take.
Well, it's almost got to take the perfect game against a good team. And there's so many good teams this league. Now, the team that's coming in Friday, I would not describe as a good team. And they almost feel like it almost feels a little more than a kind of got to win game on Friday, doesn't it, for this team?
I call it a must-win game on Friday.
I think that's right.
Then everything you're sitting here saying goes out the window.
Yeah, I think that's right. You got a team that's winless in your gym, and you're playing better than them, and you need that payoff for these players. You need that. All right, we got one. You need that feel-good evening to celebrate a victory before you head to San Diego for Monday. So, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think they got must win must win for what? For attitude, kind of got to win for what? They're 0-7, but I'm with you.
It's a must win for
win. Yeah,
people to keep saying, oh, I see it. Let's support this team. Because I know there's a lot of frustration last night. People really started to voice, wow, this is rough, like
especially in the first half.
Yes, and then also just the atmosphere in the building, everything that's going on. And so if you have the one team you've been sitting here going, well, they've been playing so good against these teams, just wait until San Jose State comes in. It's one that you want to win by 10 or more points.
I'll take a 2-point win and get out of there and feel good about myself. Right. Like I do want to. I get it. You want to win by double digits and make a statement. I think a statement is finally getting that 0 out of the left side of the ledger. And putting a win in there. Lobos lose 65-60 was the number last night. They got down early. You said, what's it going to take? And unfortunately, it's going to take a close to perfect game. And they were everything but perfect in the first half. And I thought borderline not good in the first half. I thought House was out of control. I love Jalen House. I love the energy with which he plays. I believe he's really, really good. And as a sophomore, I think by the time he's done here, and I do think he's going to stay, I think he's going to be special. But I thought he was out of control in the first half trying to do too much. And I get why you're trying to do too much. Like, I get it. I think they need Javonte Johnson to score. If he scores in that game, he went in as the leading three-point shooter in the nation by percentage, right? And he had 4 points, and he was 0 for 6 from three-point line. I'm not blaming the game on Javonte Johnson. I'm telling you, you asked what's it going to take? What do they need? And constructed as they are currently constructed, lacking size, lacking any depth in the front court, they've got to get more than just Mashburn and House scoring. Jalen Tovar's been really good. He scored in double digits again yesterday. He had 10 points. But you get 10 out of him, 19 out of House, and 15 out of Mashburn. And KJ's got to, I mean, I don't know. What do you expect out of him every night? 8 to 12? Javonte Johnson, to me, is that X factor. So when you say to me, what's it going, and he had good looks last night. I thought they they just missed shots. When I watched the game, I'm like, okay, they're coached pretty well. The comeback, and I talked to you more about the second half in this regard. They came back. I thought New Mexico was terrific defensively in the second half. So much of their offense in the comeback was predicated on defense. It started on the defensive side on steals, and they had looks. Honestly, and again, this is not blaming Javonte Johnson because I really, really like him. He didn't have a great night. So you say to me, well, what's it going to take if he hits 2 of his 6, if he's hitting some, that you've got to get scoring somewhere else, and I believe it's got to be him.
It's at 3 players in double figures, but it's going to take 4.
Yeah,
it's going to take everyone chipping in to beat a Fresno State to knock off Wyoming in this conference and didn't have it last night.
No, I mean, you think I'm wrong? I'm not pointing a finger at Javonte Johnson.
Well, you're looking for what else can you do?
Yeah. Well, you said
yeah, but not, and against good teams, it's going to be really tough to have 4 or 5 guys going off. But that's what has to happen.
Yeah, but they had a lot of good looks. No, they just didn't shoot the ball well last night. What were they? 36% field goal, 20-point something, under 21% 3-point line. I mean, that's for them to win. I mean, we could talk about everything else we want to talk about. They got to shoot well, really, Jeff. They got to put the ball in the hoop. They have to shoot 40% or more. And they've got to be better than 20% from three-point line. That's just who this team is. Do you disagree? Because they're not getting points. Forsling continues to get better, and he gave him 4 points. He got 5 rebounds, and he challenged them, and that's great. But for this team, as thusly constructed to win, they have to find somebody besides Mashburn and House has to come out and give you. I'm not even just going to say double digits like Alan Tovar did. Somebody's got to come out and give you 15 to 18 points. Somebody else. And whether that's Jenkins, and Johnson, I think has got to be a guy who does it consistently, and I think he is. He just didn't do it last night.
Yeah, and that's formula. We know it with this team. It's got to be about the shooters. You got to push that double-digit number, and they hit 5 from three-point range last night.
Yeah,
24 attempts.
What was the game? The Wyoming game where whoever the analyst was, and I think that was a CBS game. Maybe it was a Fox Sports game. I think it was CBS Sports. But he says, for New Mexico, they got to hit 10 three-pointers. And they hit, 11, 12, 13, whatever. That they do. That's the number for them to – and look, they were still in this. With all that said, they were still in this. And then they turned the ball over late. I look at it, guys, it sure as hell felt like they had more than 10 turnovers, didn't it?
Yeah, a lot of that just –
House
the empty offense's possession, so missing the shots. So.
Yeah, Jalen had 5 of them. All right, we're here for you on Lobo Basketball. If you want to get in, 505-246-0610. So much to talk about in the National Football League. Sean Payton, since last we spoke, did announce that he is leaving as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. What does that do for the league, not just the NFC South? What is the ripple effect? Aaron Rodgers spoke yesterday. Brady's putting out correspondence. So we got all the NFL. Oh, and they're playing games this weekend, by the way. 49ers and Rams will play for the NFC Championship. Bengals and Chiefs will play for the AFC Championship. The winners will play in this thing called the Super Bowl. So we got that to get through as well. Baseball Hall of Fame has their new class, a class of 1. There is a ton to talk about there. Sebastian Noel is going to be with us coming up at 8:30 this morning. We'll talk high school sports with him from ProView Networks. You can watch us on ProView Networks, Comcast Channel 26 statewide, and on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Glad you're with us this morning on a cold, windy, blustery Wednesday. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of...
Next up, San Jose State will be in the pit on Friday. You can listen to that over on News Radio KKLB. Lobos lose last night in the pit, 65-60 to Fresno State, 0-7 on the season. And yet, JJ, the more people I talk to, most of them understand what's going on and feel somewhat encouraged about an 0-7 team. And I think, to your point, if they don't win on Friday, that will change.
Yeah, if you're watching the Lobos right now, it's entirely different than the teams that we've seen struggle in the past, because you can see the ceiling, you can see a future for the core players on this roster, the way they're competing road games. Colorado State, Wyoming, what happened last night to play a bad first half but then come down and have it a one-possession game with under a minute to go, a chance to tie. You see it. But Friday's the one night you got to have it.
Get me over the top. Elsewhere in the conference last night, Colorado State came from behind. They were trailing at halftime, 34-27 at home to Steve Alford in Nevada, and then erupted in the second half. Is that number right? Is that a 6? No, it's a 5. They scored 50 points in the second half. 50 points in the second half for Colorado State. They win at home over Nevada, 77-66. David Roddy had a big night, 18 points and 8 rebounds for the Rams. Boise State, huge win. Wyoming had a shot at the end. Boise State wins in Idaho, beats Wyoming, hands the Cowboys their first conference loss. 65-62. Abu Kijab had 18 points, 5 assists. Boise State has won 13 games in a row. And in San Jose, Air Force was a winner over Ninja Turtle Court. How about Air Force is 3-4 in league? Lobos can't win a damn game, and Air Force is 3-4 in league. San Jose State gets beat at home 63-53. The Spartans are also winless in conference. They will be in the pit on Friday. Two big ones. The big one was certainly in Boise last night, where the Broncos win 13 in a row and beat a bubble team in Wyoming. Both of those are bubble teams, right? And it went right down to the wire. And it made me realize that, not that I didn't think Wyoming was real, but Wyoming's real. And you said yesterday everybody's going to beat each other up, right?
Yeah, and it's one that's, are you want to play in a good league? You're going to take some tough losses, but they better be to the teams that are also in contention to get the march, so it stays a multiple bid league.
And that was Colorado State's issue. While Nevada may have been good a couple years ago, right now it's not a good loss for you. And nothing's a good loss. That's not one of those that goes down as not a bad loss. How about that when the committee looks at it? And that was big for them yesterday. Other big one in college basketball last night, UCLA, well, there were a few big ones in college basketball last night, but UCLA, 7th ranked in the country, beat 3rd ranked Arizona in Pauley Pavilion in a wonderful Bill Walton game. By the way, I mean, he was terrific last night. 75-59, the Bruins win in the Conference of Champions, in the greatest league in the world. Did you catch any of it? Did you catch any Walton last night?
I was really watching the game more than listening to Bill Walton last night. But man, UCLA looked good.
They look great.
They looked fantastic. Defensively, stifled any run Arizona tried to throw at them.
Arizona was ranked the 3rd team in the country. Lost
most
once.
Surprising teams in the country right now.
Yeah.
And that was a fantastic win at home.
Yeah, Bruins win. So I think everybody in their bracketology Had Arizona on the 1 line. It would be interesting. We'll talk with Jerry about it tomorrow. See what that means as far as the 1 seed for now as we sit here in the last week of January and knowing that things are going to change basically daily as we go through the next month and a half. So that was big in college basketball last night. Auburn survived a scare. They're the number 1 ranked team in the country. They won last night. And Illinois in a great game against Michigan State. 156-55 in the Big Ten. So we're at that time now, conference basketball, and it's really fun, and we're going at it. Aggies will be back at it on Saturday in the Pan Am Center. Grand Canyon will be in. Grand Canyon coming off of 2 losses on the WAC road. So that's what we got for you, college basketball. We're here for you if you want to get in. 505-246-0610 on the Lobos last night. Jamal Mashburn Jr. and Jalen House again led the way in scoring, and where else is it going to come from? And that's really what it comes down to for me. Where else are you getting it? They had 34 of your 60 points. J. Allen Tovar had another 10, so that's 44 of your 60. And then you had some points scattered around, 8 for K.J. Jenkins, 4 for Javonte Johnson, and 4 for Sebastian Forsling. And J.J. asked the question earlier, so what's it going to take to get over the hump? And I firmly believe a close to perfect game, but what it's going to take, somebody besides Mashburn and Mashburn and House are going to have to go for 15, 18, 20 points. And Tovar's been good. Allen Tovar's been really good. But to me, it's got to be Javonte Johnson. It's going to be a night where he goes for 14 to 18 points while those guys do what they do, and you're going to say, oh, we got to win tonight.
Yeah, the one thing that this Lobo team has is that shooting ability, and they don't have the defense to make up for it. For 40 minutes. There's stretches where they played well, got back in a game, but they're a team that they're not going to overcome a bad offensive night right now.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have it.
Even a bad offensive half.
Yeah.
And that's what they had is a bad offensive half. And they almost overcame it, but almost is your kid yelling at you, good job, good effort. That's really what it is. All right, NFL stuff. When we left yesterday, there was the uncertainty around Sean Payton, the New Orleans Saints head coach. Well, he may not come back. Gail Benson, the owner, wasn't sure. Well, she's sure now. Sean Payton announced his decision yesterday that he's done. 16 years after he was hired by the New Orleans Saints. Retirement isn't the right word, and he told you that plenty of times. He's only 58 years old. He said he doesn't plan to coach a team in the next season, the 2022 season. That's not where his heart is right now. But I think he made it pretty clear he will coach again. And while one doesn't plan to do something, I think we are all well aware that plans change. And if the right situation came up and they could work something out, I could see him coaching next year. Now, what I believe will happen, JJ, I think he will be an analyst somewhere on one of your networks next year. And there's a really good chance he's coaching the Dallas Cowboys in 2023.
I don't know where else I would put my money other than that happening for Sean Payton. And it does sound like when you're reading the quotes coming out from the ownership now of the Saints that there wasn't any bitterness. I don't think they're going to hold on. So a team is still going to have to give up something for Sean Payton. So they'll be like, you know what, throw us a 5th-round pick. Sean Payton can be your head coach. So it doesn't seem like New Orleans at this point in time is probably going to do anything crazy. I mean, you're not getting multiple first-round picks for a coach. Now maybe you can get Jerry Jones over his skis to do something like that if he gets in that position. But it doesn't feel like it's going to be hard after this year for Sean Payton and the Saints to come to an agreement of where he's going to be coaching next.
Well, I mean, there's nobody that's doubting he's coaching again, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he's under contract for 3 more years.
Understood.
While he stepped away, he just can't go sign somewhere right now.
And he can't retire and play that game. He's under contract. That's what contracts do. You can't go work for my competition while you're under contract with me. Even if I'm not paying you, you walked away, I'm not paying you because you're not doing the job for which we contracted you to do. You don't get to just go do it for someone else, a competitor. That's how that works. I've listened to so much about how this absolutely changes the power in the NFC South. And it's going to change Tom Brady's mind. Let me be very clear. Tom Brady's been beating the Saints since he's been in Tampa Bay with Sean Payton. Why does this – if Tom Brady was leaning one way or the other, Why does this somehow? This is where I'm like easy on the whole. Like I'll give you, the Saints may take a step back. Let's see what they do. It's not like the Saints were beating the hell out of the world last year, if you recall. They started with Jameis Winston. He got hurt. They ran out Taysom Hill. They ran out Trevor Siemian. They were injured. Their defense is good. Last I checked, they did not make the playoffs, correct?
Correct.
I know I'm correct. Thank you, though. So why would Sean Payton leaving somehow, is this just more spewing heads? Like what am I missing? Why does Tom Brady give it
team
damn?
competitive without a quarterback?
Okay, that's great. What does that have to do with Tom Brady?
I don't know what it has to do with Tom Brady.
That's what I'm asking.
The Sean Payton and the Saints stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what the correlation is to Tom Brady.
Well, Tommy, now Brady may think twice because the division's there to be had. He's winning the damn division.
He was winning despite losing to the Saints.
That's what I'm saying. So he was winning the division with Sean Payton there. Like, so what? How much did the Saints beat them? They split 2-2. They played him 4
No, I
times.
think the Saints swept them.
The Saints swept him?
Yeah, they beat him twice last year, didn't they?
I don't remember. All right, okay, but he's still winning the damn division.
Yeah, they beat
All right.
him twice this year.
All right.
They beat him twice last year.
All right. So he's still winning. Atlanta's the one to me who kind of wins this thing. If Brady leaves and Sean Payton leaves, who's your favorite in that division? And it's impossible to say. It's like we always ask Jerry because we don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea what those teams are going to look like with free agency in the draft. Where Aaron Rodgers is going to go and any of that. But as currently constructed, Atlanta was right there till the end. Brady's leaving, Gronk's leaving, Godwin's probably leaving, and he's hurt. How much of that defense are they keeping together? Everybody's a free agent. Ndamukong Suh is a free agent. Atlanta? Do you look at Atlanta and say, a couple years left with Matt Ryan? Put some weapons around him last year, didn't they? Cordero Patterson became a weirdly good player. But I look at that whole situation and I feel like I know the blueprint. 505-246-0610. I want to get into the other stuff in football. What Aaron Rodgers said on the Sean McAfee show, because that's where he goes. Is it the Pat McAfee instead of Sean? Because it's a totally different dude. I worked with a dude named Sean, and he used to write for the Tribune, but Pat McAfee's the guy who does the...
Aaron Rodgers' best friend.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good content.
It is.
I mean, we all know about that damn podcast, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Probably listen to it way more. So we'll get into that. I know you have thoughts on the Baseball Hall of Fame. I already got your correspondence on that, and so we'll get there as well. 505-246-0610. Life happens. Happens quickly, and sometimes there's things that happen along the way, things that are natural that you need help dealing with. That's where New Mail comes in. They're there to help you. Gentlemen, as you age, things like fatigue, weight gain, even erectile dysfunction are some of those natural things. There's a really good chance you will be affected. That's where New Mail comes in. They help you deal with those things, take care of them, feel better, but you got to call them. The number's 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688. Or visit them online at Newmail. That's NUMALE.com. I hear excuses all the time. Yeah, I don't have time. It's not convenient. I don't know where to go. Don't make excuses. Guys, make the call. Do this for you. Here's the deal. New Mail's right here in Albuquerque. The process is comfortable. It's convenient. They're with you every step of the way. But the best part, the most important part of this whole thing, the results are real. It works, and men all over the country have benefited from this. Do this for you. Call New Mail at 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688, or visit newmail.com and feel like you again.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
Hi, I'm Joe with Everguard Roofing and Solar, and I'm proud to say I'm standing next to our University of New Mexico Lobo football quarterback, Terry Wilson. We at Everguard Roofing and Solar are active in our community, and we love the Lobos.
What I love about Everguard Roofing and Solar is their commitment to excellence, and that's what I'm all about. That's why I support this company, because they care about the people of New Mexico.
A hole in your roof or a whole new roof?
Go Lobos!
Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A burglary take.
Sean Payton's gone. Will Aaron Rodgers be gone? What about Tommy? It's the opening drive. Jeff Sabieta and JJ Buck. A. Marie's with us, producing. Special time. We had one of the best days of football ever. Now you got AB going to pursue legal action against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for his release. Can you not release a guy anymore? When a guy walks off the field, is that due cause? I mean, I play dime store lawyer here. We always talk about firing for cause or getting released. If a guy quits in the middle of the game, takes his shirt off, bounces off, waves at the crowd, leaves you in the middle of the game, is he not? I don't know. Would that be cause? Is he not fulfilling his obligations under the contract to play football? He said he can't go into the game, and then he bounced off the field and made a spectacle of himself and and didn't even bring his equipment off the field. Is that cause?
That is cause.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
What the hell are we doing here, man? And we're going to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and it's going to make me tired. All right, what did you make out of what Aaron Rodgers had to say yesterday? Aaron Rodgers says he's getting along with Brian Gutekunst, the general manager with whom he did not get along all last offseason. He went on the Pat McAfee show, and he hints at his decision that he'll have it done by the franchise tag deadline. And that's because he wants to respect Devontae Adams, his buddy, which is all fine. Did you glean anything from what he said to Pat McAfee yesterday?
It's the first time in a while that I'm listening to Aaron Rodgers and just going, okay, here's something that actually matters that you're talking
Which
about.
was what?
It's his relationship with the organization,
Okay.
the process, letting it play out, what his conversation is going to be like, something straight from him instead of all of us having to spend the entire week going, well, I think because he said this, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, deciphering it. Quote, I'd like to be respectful of the organization. He probably said organization, not organization, like a hockey player, but he, up in Wisconsin, who knows? He continued. One decision that will be upcoming will be obviously Devontae and his future with the team. There still is this thing called the franchise tag, which I don't think 17 wants the franchise. I think that should be enough time to make a decision by then. I don't want to put myself on a specific date, but I do want to be sensitive to Devontae and many other guys who have decisions to make on their own futures. To drag it out past free agency would be disrespectful to the organization and to those guys, and that 100% will not happen, end quote. It's nice of him. Now they can still franchise tag 17, whether he wants to be tagged or not. You understand that, right? I don't know that they will do that if he wants to go when Rodgers leaves. Salary cap. Packers sit at $44.8 million over the projected cap. That's without Devontae Adams. That's without paying him. Franchise tag for him would be close to $20 million. I'd put him about $64 million over. Teams have to be under their cap with their top 51 players by March 16th. So they got a month and a half. I think he's gone. I think he gave no inclination that he's staying. I think he's he's saying, okay, everything's smooth. I think he's trying to smooth it where he doesn't leave on bitter terms so he can come back and have that Brett Favre retirement celebration when he's all said and done. And remember that one Super Bowl that they won and all those number one seeds that they won and the Governor's Trophy that they don't have in the NFL. But, I mean, as I'm reading these tea leaves, what tells you that he's staying?
Right now, nothing.
Him and Brian Gutekunst, they have a friendship now? You guys have a feel one way or the other? Because that's my feel.
I feel like it's almost trolling too. Like,
I agree. That's his game.
I know.
That's his game because we all sit there and listen to it. Because he's played himself into a position where, man, I mean, he's one of the few difference makers in the league, right? But how many people on the planet can do what he does the way he does it? 4-ish? I mean, that's it. Now, he talked about Gutekunst. Quote, I feel like I'm at the place relationally with the Packers in a really good place, especially with Brian. The way our friendship and trust has grown, where it would be a simple conversation, and whatever comes out of the conversation is moving forward. There's not going to be a weird standoff, war of silence, or anything. Brian and I have a good we've had good conversations throughout the year, and when it comes time to make a decision, we'll have a conversation, and that'll be that. It won't be a long, drawn-out process, end quote. Okay? I mean, to me, the only thing to draw out is terms if I'm staying. How you gonna figure out a way to keep me? Because that's the other piece. What are they gonna look like if he stays? What are you gonna pay your quarterback? You're $44 million over. Now he's part of that number. But what are you gonna pay him? He's got to restructure that. Then you got to keep Devontae. Like how do they even do it if he wants to be there? I mean, you find
I just
a way,
don't see
right?
it happening.
There's always cat magic.
Yeah.
There is cat magic. Probably when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, too.
Yeah, you find a way, but, I mean, he's gone.
And Green Bay signed a quarterback yesterday.
Who'd they sign?
Kurt Benkert from the University of Virginia.
Kurt Benkert?
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Nobody does.
It's all silliness.
Okay. All right. He doesn't fear retirement, by the way. He doesn't fear it. Good. I mean, he plays golf and he watches Jeopardy. Why should he fear retirement? There's nothing to fear. Got more money than God. You can do whatever you want.
He could be Pat's co-host, one of his co-hosts.
Pat?
McAfee.
Oh, yeah. There's got to be a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
Okay. To me, this is really quintessential, on-brand Rodgers. He's got a form that he's very, very comfortable in where he can dictate the tone and the drama. And so he can orchestrate the drama, and everybody, we all sit on every word. What did he mean here? Ooh, do you think? And he knows what he's going to do. And he gets to dictate it, and he's going to go where he wants to go. And God bless him for having that power. I mean, I wouldn't want all that. And the beauty of him, he's almost so magical because he stirs more drama. What was the last player, period? Well, let's go football. What was the last football player who stirred this much drama? I mean, AB maybe?
Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Right? But I mean, that
on Twitter, they're comparing him to Colin Kaepernick, which I don't. Stirring the pot, speaking out.
Okay, I think it's a fair comparison for the amount of conversation that's generated
around it, right?
All right, Colin Kaepernick said so little. Honestly, it was everybody else speaking about and for Colin Kaepernick, right? Aaron says enough, but he's got that laid back attitude. Like what? I'm just chill, right? I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to play. I'm just trying to live my life. But he's got this unique ability to stir the pot and stir the conversation to a level that if he was in the PGA, he'd get that $15 million bonus, right? And yet sit back and with his laid back, chill, I'm not doing anything, man. Everybody else is doing this. And it's all him. All the drama is generated by him. He's got a unique capability, doesn't he? I mean, that's a talent. That he loves the drama but makes you think, or at least tries to make you think he doesn't love the drama. I don't love the drama. I don't want any of the drama. But yet he stirs it every week. I don't care if it's his toe or his relationship with Brian Gutekunst or Pickett. I mean, do you think I'm wrong?
No, you don't do that every week. Like, unless you're really, even in your roundabout ways, circle ways, trying to put something out there, deflect a little bit, put it on everyone else.
And just chill, man. I'm just sitting here with my beanie on.
Say, oh, everyone's rooting against. Well, yeah, because it's not just what happened with the immunization quote. It's that it comes down to performance, that you're throwing something out there every single week for people to jump onto. And what do you think's going to happen, man? This is sports. People are going to take a side.
It's amazing. By the way, I've never lived in Wisconsin or Minnesota. Is it that cold where you always have to wear a beanie in your living room?
It's just so cold.
So you
like
just,
starting Halloween, you're just freezing.
So you just got to wear a beanie.
It's just cold
in your living room all the time. You can wear a t-shirt, but you got to wear a beanie all the time.
Except your Minnesota people are crazy. Like my uncles are never cold. They're like shorts year round.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I told
it's
you,
never cold.
I had a guy when I was working in San Diego from Wyoming, where they had real cold, and he moved to San Diego and swore he would never wear long pants again. And when it got down to San Diego cold, down into the low 40s and freezing, and he was always now he'd wear a sweatshirt, a hoodie, but always would wear shorts. Now, I get that. All right, 505-246. His name is Kenrick, if I recall.
Legs don't get cold.
Yeah, no, I don't get cold. Yeah, this is San Diego. We
swimming weather.
All right, tough guy. I got you. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is someone you should call him with Valentine's Day coming up, fellas, if you're looking for that awesome, perfect, wonderful gift that she will love. It doesn't have to be flowers. It'll smell nice on the Spot Automotive Detailing. Get her this. They come out and they detail your vehicle. Detailing means cleaning it, scrubbing it, waxing it, inside, outside, under the hood, to the point that when they're done with it, it's like it's brand new, like the day you took it off the lot. What On the Spot does is they come to you. On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes to you wherever and whenever it's convenient. So you're working in the office, they're working in the parking lot. You're in the house, they're in the driveway. They do it wherever and whenever it works well for you. You get a text, you go outside, bam, and everybody comes back and goes, oh, how do I get a hold of them? Well, here's how. You call them at 505-859-2859. That's 505-859-2859. Or go to otsdetailing.com. They also now offer paint corrections for anything from scratches to asphalt removal. Get your car looking like new again. Ceramic coating is the best way to protect any paint for years to come, and they apply it by hand. It makes it last longer and gets a more even coat than other companies do. They, in fact, nobody else even offers that. Book your appointment online. It's On the Spot Automotive Detailing, otsdetailing.com, or schedule an appointment on the phone, 505-859-2859. That's 505-859-2859.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out, it needs to be replaced. We're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
Hi, I'm Joe with Everguard Roofing and Solar, and I'm proud to say I'm standing next to our University of New Mexico Lobo football quarterback, Terry Wilson. We at Everguard Roofing and Solar are active in our community, and we love the Lobos.
What I love about Everguard Roofing and Solar is their commitment to excellence, and that's what I'm all about. That's why I support this company, because they care about the people of New Mexico.
A hole in your roof or a whole new roof?
Go Lobos!
Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Judging by your correspondence coming in this morning, 505-246-0610. That is the text line and the Quan's Auto Care hotline. That's how to get to us today. The emails are coming in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. I'll get you some of the emails when we start into the 8 o'clock hour. Coming up on the top of this one, Edward, good morning to you. I know you're unhappy about the Baseball Hall of Fame, I'm going to guess.
Indeed, but I want to talk about 3 specific things succinctly.
Quickly.
Let's start with, since you opened with the Baseball Hall of Fame, Jeff, once the generation right above us, our parents move on gracefully in life, no one, the vast majority aren't going to care about what the Baseball Hall of Fame writers think, quite honestly. I think they're losing credibility every year. Barry Bonds, in my humble opinion, outside of maybe Willie Mays and a few other players, maybe 2 or 3 other players, Hank Aaron, is the greatest baseball player I've seen that we've had since Babe Ruth. And, with the illegal steroid use and everything else under the sun, I understand they want to set precedents. But to not allow him into the Hall of Fame and Clemens is an absolute joke. It's a joke. So I think that they're going to go by way, they meaning the writers, by way of the NCAA sanctioning, because they've lost all their credibility as a sanctioning governing body in football. No one's going to care, or the vast majority aren't going to care. So be it. The writers appease themselves. And, I saw greatness on the field. He's the greatest player I've ever seen in 50 years. And I'm glad Poppy got in, and he probably did steroids too. And Carl Yastrzemski's my favorite player ever. But, I'm glad Poppy, 3-time champion, ended almost a 100-year cycle of not having a championship team with Boston. So I get it. So be it. Sean Payton, hey, nice coward's exit. That team is $60 million over the salary cap.
Yeah, they're in a
He
bad
gave
spot.
a fullback some incentive-laden contract twice. Yeah. I just think it's a coward's exit, to be honest with you. He knows they got no shot. And he'll probably end up being the Cowboys coach, maybe next year, however that transpires. But I'm not a real big fan of Sean Payton. I know he's a Super Bowl champion, and he does a good job. He's a good coach. To me, it's kind of a coward's exit, to be honest with you. This fascination that Cowboy fans have, with Romo, yesterday's calls were vastly entertaining. I have a solution. It won't happen because people can't get over themselves, but the Cowboys and the Packers should trade Rodgers and Devontae Adams straight up for Dak and CeeDee Lamb and Cooper. Guys like CeeDee Lamb come into the league every year. You can name them. There's 4 or 5 guys like CeeDee Lamb that come into the league every year at receiver. If you got to do a self-assessment. If what you've been doing for over a quarter century isn't working, then make changes. But they're not going to make changes, they being the Cowboys. Because they fall in love with their past, and they fall in love with themselves, and they fall in love with their decisions.
I think both teams. Well, first of all, I think it'd benefit both teams, and it's really interesting. First of all, you have to have Devontae Adams under contract to make a trade, but
do a sign and trade. The other thing it would do is get you out of that god awful contract that you gave Dak Prescott. Because quite honestly, when it's 3rd and 8 and the receiver is not wide open, you don't know what's going to happen when he throws the ball. Quite honestly, he's not a bad player; he's a good player. Probably a top 10, verging on top 10 in quarterback in the league. But what you're doing isn't working. And we saw what's going to win playoff games this past weekend in terms of quarterback talent, and that's not it. So I think Cowboy fans would be like, no way. Even my friends who are Cowboy fans are like, I would never do that. You wouldn't take a 4-time NFL MVP, Super Bowl champion over a guy that, again, I put the over-under on divisional playoff victories in his 4-year contract at 1.5,
I think it's
and I'm
good.
going to bet the under.
All right. No, that's really good. That's your best call in a long time. I appreciate you. There was a lot of content. You know what? that was his best call in a long time because I thought there was a lot of thought-provoking stuff in there. I don't agree with everything. I've never thought about Rodgers and Adams for Lamb and Prescott. It'd benefit both of them. I'm not going to lie to you. It'd benefit both of them. I want to talk about that in the Hall of Fame. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Telling it like it is.
When you're considering
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
All right, a lot in that. Good morning to you. Welcome to your 8 o'clock hour. Welcome to your Wednesday, and welcome to our day. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, A. Marie. Lobos lose in the pit last night, 65-60. I got a bunch of correspondence on that. Down big in the first half, up to 17 points. Battled all the way back to 2 and had the ball in the final minute, but finally succumbed to the Bulldogs and are now 0-7 in conference play. San Jose State will be in the pit on Friday, so we'll get into that. Sean Payton is no longer the coach of the New Orleans Saints. Aaron Rodgers spoke with Pat McAfee. Tommy said some things. We can get into all of that. Edward just called and hit on a couple of things, and I was going to hit on the Baseball Hall of Fame, and David Ortiz was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. It was announced yesterday it will be a class of one. Big Papi will be the only player who will be put into the shrine. He is the only one who got the 75% threshold from the Baseball Writers of America, 77.9%. He's the 58th player elected in his first year of eligibility, and he will be the youngest of the 75 living members in the Hall of Fame. All great stuff. I saw a lot of stuff yesterday he shouldn't be in because, and I'll get into because. The because is on their final and their 10th time on the ballot, both Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens did not get elected. Bonds had 66% of the vote. Clemens had 65.2%. I'm going to guess it was probably the same people, right? 65.2, 66%. Probably they showed up probably on most of the same ballots, okay? Because inarguably, there's no argument, right? Their numbers are Hall of Fame numbers, right? I mean, Bonds is like really no duh, and I think Clemens is probably the same way, right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right. It's the steroids thing. This is it. Edward said a few things. He said, the Hall of Fame. He didn't say the Hall of Fame, but he said the Baseball Writers Association are going to be irrelevant, and hence they're the ones who elect the Hall of Fame members, and hence the Hall of Fame would be irrelevant. I don't think the Hall of Fame will ever be irrelevant in this or any other major sport. I 100% disagree. The Hall of Fame is not irrelevant. If you're a baseball fan and you grow up loving that game, a Hall of Famer is going to be a Hall of Famer, and there's going to be something to it. And if you've ever been to Cooperstown, it is an unbelievably special place. You ever been there?
It's so awesome. I went and saw Ken Griffey Jr. get
you were there for his induction?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. By the way,
it's amazing.
Ken Griffey Jr. is the best player I've seen in my time. And I will tell you, at his peak, I think he was better than Bonds.
Oh, I love him so much.
Yeah.
Damn injuries.
Yep. Now, he didn't sustain it, but he's also not caught up in the steroid mess. Now, he could have done it. Who knows? Would it surprise you? It wouldn't surprise me. But this conversation of irrelevancy, I'm going to step away from because I don't buy it. The other thing I saw was, well, Big Papi didn't do this and this and this and this. Well, that's fine. That's fine. There's two completely separate conversations. The people who are pissed that Bonds and Clemens didn't get in, for whatever reason, took to the social medium, and we're thrashing David Ortiz. Look, I don't know that I would have told you I thought David Ortiz was a first ballot guy, whatever that means. I think he's a Hall of Famer. For everything he did on and off the field for that town and that team and that franchise, and yeah, I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Kind of along those lines of great versus legendary.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I think he's legendary, but you can be a Hall of Famer by being legendary. I like I can look at some of the guys that were enshrined in the last decade that I would tell you would be less Hall of Famers than him if we're ranking Hall of Famers. So I have no problem with him being a Hall of Famer. I'm going to ask you where you are on Bonds and Clemens, but I'll tell you where I am first. I have no problem with the Baseball Writers Association of America making their statement and not voting those guys in on the first, second, third ballots, whatever. But now that we hit the expiration of their eligibility for induction, for election, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame. I also believe Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. And I've told you this many, many times, and I know some of you disagree with me and some of you agree with me, and I don't care. Baseball Hall of Fame is a shrine that tells the story of baseball, correct? Major League Baseball, baseball. It slays me a bit that the guy who's got, what's baseball? Throw ball, hit ball, catch ball, right? The guy who hit ball has the most hits in the history of the game is not in the Hall. I understand why. I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame with his whole story there, but should not have a job in Major League Baseball, should not be able to work in Major League Baseball for what he did. Guy who hit the most home runs in the history of the game, whether you think it was tainted or not, and I do, should be in the Hall of Fame. I believe at this point, when it's all said and done, Bonds and Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame with their full stories. And maybe it's because Bonds' full story has never been admitted. Where do you come on this whole thing? I'm over it.
Yeah, at this point in time with the Baseball Hall of Fame, one, I'm always, are you a Hall of Famer or not?
Yeah, I get it.
Then it shouldn't matter.
I get it.
Like, you should be able to vote for whoever you think's a Hall of Fame or not. Just, we can only have 10, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's a yes or no question.
Okay.
I understand how first ballot Hall of Famer has risen to a level of that is special.
Mhm.
Okay, I
Jacket's
get
still
that.
the same color. The bus looks the same. Yeah.
Oh, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Oh, you're a third ballot. Well, you're in the same building, man. There's not different rooms for that. And at this point in time, this is an era where we can't just look and then pick and choose. You can look when the testing started after the fact, but there are guys that have been in the Hall of Fame. David Ortiz could be one of them.
Mhm.
He tested positive, but then all of a sudden, for David Ortiz is the one guy that like that might have been a false positive, might not have been that. So why we're playing in that game with David Ortiz? Because he's a good personality.
Good guy. Yep.
And that's where it gets crazy. Yeah, I look at Kurt Schilling at times. I'm like, it is hard to separate that dude off the field from the baseball player.
Well,
But let's look at the baseball player.
And his baseball numbers are marginal, not marginal, are borderline. Like Clemens is, and Bonds is. Schilling's numbers are right there on the border.
Because there's too many factors that come into play to keep people out. And they're like, oh, we got to set a tone for the steroid. Do you know how many people are in the Hall of Fame?
That's right.
Right now, you inducted or are going in the few years that did steroids? There's going to be people in there. But yet,
you think Bagwell was one of them? I mean,
but yet
Big Papi? Yeah.
it's Barry Bonds is the one where we got to keep that guy out because
And so Bonds has been the most publicly defiant. And so Barry did a lot of this to himself. Like I refuse to let him play the victim card here, because this isn't all. And you're right. Good guy Ortiz got in, and a-hole Bonds didn't. Right. So this isn't poor Barry. He's getting hosed here. He did this to himself, and has never ever come clean. And is there a human on the planet? Do you think even his kids? Is there anybody who believes he did not do steroids? And I think at this point, I'm over it. I think most people are like, yep, whatever. That was that era, and that's what they did, and that's what you did to whatever. I can't sit here. I've told you this many times. I can't sit here and tell you if I was in a locker room, the guy next to me was sticking a needle in his butt, and he was making millions, and if I do that, there was a chance I was going to. I can't sit here and ride my moral high horse and tell you I wouldn't have done it. I can't. And most of these guys, Andy Pettitte came out, yeah, I did it. Well, you got caught. Okay, but other guys, basically
Accountability is key.
accountability, and that's the biggest issue here. Yeah. If Barry would have come out and had accountability, I believe he would have got that other 9%.
Yeah, the 30 for 30 of this was baseball. It took off. You proud of it? Nope. But we hit a lot of home runs. The game was popping.
Save the game.
At that point in time, we were all doing what we thought was leveling the playing field against each other. And they came in to clean it up. And then this is the game of baseball since. And a lot of it, too, is also then, being a Rockies fan, the nonsense that they hold against Rockies players. It's like everywhere else, there's never such thing at Hitters Park.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at someone like Todd Helton, who, by the way, his road OPS is better than Hall of Famers' career OPS that are in the Hall of Fame right now. Yep. But it's all these little things that they like to pick and choose. Well, you're not really that good because you played here, or well, you played during this time, so you probably were a cheater.
What about if you played Yankee Stadium where it's 325 down the line? I understand the power alleys are long, but that short porches where you poke them, a fly ball ends up going out.
You're a Yankee, you're a Hall of Famer.
100%, right? Or Fenway Park where, well, I mean, that fence is like right there. I know you got to hit it high in the air, 47 feet or whatever it is, 37 feet. But so yes, you're right. You're right. This is where the playing field has never been even. I want to continue this conversation. We'll go on the phones as soon as we come back. I got to take this break relatively on time. Rudy, stay there because I want to hear what you have to say. 505-246-0610 is the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Joe with Everguard Roofing and Solar, and I'm proud to say I'm standing next to our University of New Mexico Lobo football quarterback, Terry Wilson. We at Everguard Roofing and Solar are active in our community, and we love the Lobos.
What I love about Everguard Roofing and Solar is their commitment to excellence, and that's what I'm all about. That's why I support this company, because they care about the people of New Mexico.
A hole in your roof or a whole new roof?
Go Lobos!
Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
And there'll be more, and everybody will gather this summer in Cooperstown. If you've never been there, by the way, and you like baseball and you like that kind of stuff, tripping around Doubleday Field and going through,
it's so awesome.
It is terrific. And Cooperstown's this cool place in upstate New York. I'm going to go back. It's been a lot of years.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, A. Maurice producing on the radio side, and Adrian on the TV side.
By the way, Adrian's lowrider is going to be at the Super Bowl.
It is?
What? I don't know if I'm not cool. I don't know if you call it a lowrider, but he has I'm sending you a picture right now.
All right, do.
He got invited.
Really?
In his car club.
He might have sent that to me as well.
I'm just letting you know. How cool is that?
What?
Our producer.
That's really cool. All right, I want to see it. We'll put it up. Rudy, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing good. They just need to win a bleeping game.
Lobos do. Yeah.
Yeah, look, you got to play offense and defense. You can't just play defense, and you can't just play offense. And I think that the frustration that came out last night by Jenkins was, well-founded. And I think that sometimes you just have to get down and you have to get dirty. And when Fresno State was hitting those shots in the first half, we weren't. And then we turned that around, and then we can't hit a darn shot. So I have a feeling, though, that this Friday they'll get off the schneid. And, yeah, it's San Jose State, and, yeah, they haven't won a game. So what? I think this team just needs to win a game to get that feeling and then go from there. Forsling has his moments, but then things happen. Jalen Tovar has his moments, and then things happen. And you got to just push out those things happening if you're going to get to a win. But, the biggest thing was it was nice to have the band back. I don't think people understood how much that was missed. But that adds just so much to the atmosphere in the pit. And for the 8,000 whatever people that showed up, I think that still puts us second in the conference.
I believe that's right.
In attendance. So, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. This whole Hall of Fame thing, you put people in because of their accomplishments on the baseball field. And, yeah, there's life. And, yeah, some people do some crazy things. But if we had Instagram and things like that when Babe Ruth was playing, what do you think they would have seen him up to? I mean, it was legendary what Babe Ruth would do.
And by the way, it was considered a plus to his resume back in those days. It was considered a badge of honor. It was considered a plus to what would be considered a knock on your character now. I agree with you about 85% that it should be about what you did on the baseball field. But if what you – and I understand where they're coming from of what they did change the way they – did things on the baseball field. I mean, there's no argument that performance-enhancing drugs enhance your performance on the baseball field, right? Those were legal, and I understand the trepidation. I think at this point in 2022, we should be over it and past it and accept the era for what it was and realize, all right, you push these guys out, you made them wait their 10 years. For me, I'm over it. What they're saying is we're trying to erase in the Hall of Fame that whole era of baseball, which and that's probably not true because the story of the era is told without enshrining and honoring the people who played in that, and that's where I think it's wrong. That was the era, man, and so I would disagree with you when you say it's just about what's on the field because did they cheat? Yeah, they did, man, they did. And I would tell you, and I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm going to guess north of 50% of the players of that era were cheating.
Yeah, well, I look at it this way. It's the same amount of time, 52 years from 1918 to 1970 and from 1970 to 2022.
This is crazy.
52 years.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yep.
From 1918 to 1970, how much did our country change and how much did our perceptions change?
Yep.
And then from 1970 to 2022, it's the same period of time, 52 years. And yet we're still playing this, morality game with the baseball writers saying, well, you're not moral enough to be in the Hall of Fame.
I think the only difference is, and if there's a defense for the writers, and I'm not sure there is anymore, but it would be it's not even morality. What they feel is that what these players did changed their performance on the field, and I would imagine they say that's what made them Hall of Famers. And obviously, Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he's accused of starting the performance-enhancing drugs. Hey, man, I'm going to move.
Yeah, but I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Feel better.
Yes.
All right. Later. I want to get one more in. Before we go, is that wrong? Right? You understand my distinction there?
I do.
All right, Tony. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
What's up?
3 days in a row.
Yeah,
you're welcome. Yeah. Okay, let's just put it out there. You're welcome. But you know what, though, Jeff? You said it beautifully. Beautifully. The Hall of Fame tells a story, whether it be a good story, an ugly story, but it tells a story, and that's how what. Once you said that, wow, I was like, he's right. He really does. Because me personally, I love baseball. I love baseball. Baseball is it's just.
Yep.
I just love it. I could watch a 1-0 game and enjoy it just like a 10-11 game.
Yep.
That's just me. Very few people can enjoy baseball like that. I'm one of them. But as far as the Hall of Fame is concerned, I don't put too much into it anymore because there's so many players in the Basketball Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame who shouldn't be there. Who shouldn't be there? Back in the day, if you were a Hall of Famer, it's because you were one of the best. Not you were just you. You know, now it's what is it now? If you hit 500 home runs, you're a lock. You're a lock for the Hall of Fame, and it's like.
Well, I think it was always that way. It was just more
rare. You
rare.
have to be one of the best, one of the absolute best, and it's not like that anymore. There's just so many players, like I said, in all the major sports who shouldn't be in there. So I really don't put too much into it. Now, when is A-Rod available? Eligible. I'm sorry.
He's got to be up any year now, right?
He was on the ballot this year.
He was on the ballot this year? Okay, what did he get?
Really? Now, if he gets in on his third or fourth try, that's just the writers just hating Barry Bonds.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt the writers hate Barry Bonds. I don't think you need any more proof of that. And so would you tell me A-Rod got 34%?
Yeah.
All right. And Alex was suspended for a year, but Alex has had the best image transformation that I've seen in anybody in sports ever, okay? From the most hated villain to a guy who you kind of like now every Sunday night. No, and he was with J-Lo.
Well, he dated J-Lo.
Yeah, well,
Come on now.
but he that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. Yes, but I don't. If you need any more confirmation that the writers hated Barry Bonds, I don't know what you've been watching.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I mean, and you're completely right. He did it to himself.
Yeah, he did.
But had he come out and said, "Yeah, I did it," I mean, does it change anything?
I think it does for a lot of people. Yeah,
I really don't. I really don't. Look at Pete Rose. He came out, he admitted, and they still won't let him in.
Well, but that's different. He's never been on the ballot. That's been baseball not allowing him to even be on the ballot, right? I mean, his time that's a different group of people, but it's certainly similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't put too much. I don't put too much into the Hall of Fame, and I don't take too much out of it. So it is what it is. But you guys have a good day. Okay.
Later, Tony. Thanks. See, everybody. I love this because I two people said it, I don't put much into it, but they're pretty passionate about it, right? Tony's a baseball fan, and I'm going to guess you kind of do care a little bit, and I think it's okay to care. I wonder, perception, because I think I found this, JJ. There's been guys in the last decade who have been elected and enshrined in the Hall of Fame where I'm like, is he really a Hall of Famer? Like, really? He was pretty average. And then to Tony's point, you go back, the guys before us that we never saw, well, they must have been great. They were Hall of Famers, right? Were they great? Was Rizzuto great? Was look at, and then you start looking at the numbers and you're like, I don't know if Rizzuto was that great. It was Yogi Berra that great. His numbers were fairly, were they? Well, they were Yankees. Okay, they must have been Hall of Famers. I don't know. I think the Hall's still going to have its je ne sais quoi that take to it. Is it a joke? I don't know that I think it is. But it's. I would not have a problem if we start changing up how we elect people. If we had a broader group than just the Baseball Writers of America. I think it's time to evolve out of that a little bit. Don't you?
I can see that because things are changing. There's different perspectives on the game.
Jeff says if Bud Selig is in the Hall of Fame, when he allowed hot baseballs and steroid era under his watch, he and everybody knew it, good TV, then Pete Rose, Bonds, Clemens, and all of them should be in the Hall of Fame with a big O by their names. Allow all of them in the Hall as players during the steroid era. It's a joke. Major League Baseball signs gambling casino endorsement deals, but won't let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame because he bet on baseball. He never bet against his team, never bet against himself. It's interesting, right? I mean, the rules have changed, and so now there's betting. Now the players aren't allowed to bet on baseball. And the argument is, well, on the days you didn't bet on your team, are you basically betting against your team? But his point's not totally lost. All of a sudden, now we got every baseball stadium's got a casino sponsoring it, right? Every single one.
Yeah, leagues partner with them.
Leagues partner with them. The odds are scrolling on the bottom bottom line on your screen. He bet on baseball. He did. Larry says, agree 100% on your take on Rose, Bonds, and Clemens. The Hall of Fame is a place of morals or character. Why admit guys like Ty Cobb, who wasn't a nice guy? It's about their contribution to the game, and like you say, not their whole story. All three of them. Major League Baseball needs to own the steroid era, the 90s, strike, lost fans, and they gain fans back thanks to the steroid-enhanced home run era with Bonds, Sosa, McGwire, and the rest. It is what it is. I've told you the story, right? This was – when was the Bonds, Sosa, McGwire? Was it 98?
Yes.
I was a sports guy at Channel 7.
Oh, really?
In 1998. And that summer, we had a little like a scoreboard, a graphic made for the three of those guys with their faces on them and home run counts, what they did today and what they were on the season. And I intimately remember how big of a deal that was and how everybody was into Sosa, Bonds, and McGwire just blowing baseballs out of the ballpark. And we loved it, and chicks loved the long ball. And it brought baseball back from the strike. It did, in the 94 strike. We loved it. And that's got to be part of the story of baseball. Look, I'm not proud. I don't think anybody's proud that these guys were juicing up and doing what they did.
They changed it. So you're not sitting here saying, well, it's okay, go pump in more steroids, but you're just acknowledging, hey, this was the game over this course of time. And so you don't have to, and everyone says, tell the whole story. There's that, like, everyone, we know the story. But so if you put someone in the Hall of Fame, the plaque is for Pete Rose.
So what do you put on Bonds' plaque?
Yeah, like, I don't know what the plaque is going to say. Like, because you're not putting it on the plaque.
Well, you would. No, you would. He was suspended from baseball because he bet on baseball. He's he has more hits in the history of the game. He played here, managed here, was suspended in 19 whatever because of this, and has never been back allowed out.
Hang it
and there
up.
it is, and it lives forever.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what you would put on Bonds. What would you put on Bonds? Was accused of his hat size went from a 7 1/4 to 8 3/4 mysteriously late in his career.
And that's probably why there's because you can't do that. Like, you can't do that
because he hasn't admitted it, right? What would you put on his plaque?
Because then you could just go around and you just start putting accused of whatever you wanted to on these.
Well, that's 100% right. That's 100%. Now, is that why he's not being allowed in? 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
When looking for the best experience while buying an all-new Kia, Fiesta Kia offers some of the most knowledgeable and friendly Kia specialists in New Mexico. They'll help you find the Kia that will meet all your expectations. Kias have some of the most affordable vehicles for you to choose from, offering extensive options and style for the price. And with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, Kia won't be beat. Come be a part of the Fiesta family today, 7400 Lomas Boulevard Northeast, or start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
Sports Animal.
All right, we will get back into both the NFL talk, well, all three, the NFL talk, the Lobo basketball talk, and certainly the Hall of Fame talk in a little bit. But 8:30s on Wednesdays is when we talk a little high school sports. Sebastian Noel is the guru over at ProView Networks. He does all the big games, at least most of them. He joins us on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir. How you living?
I had my cases all ready for Andrew Jones and Jeff Kent.
So actually, I wanted to start on baseball because I know you have an opinion on this. Go ahead on the Hall of Fame.
No, those are the two that I think, Jeff Kent just kind of dominated that position for that entire era.
What?
And those are the guys that were playing during my formative years of watching baseball. And then Andrew Jones was the premier center fielder in the league. I mean, that pitching staff probably the ERA is half a point lower because of his play in center field. And then you look at his offensive numbers, they really stack up with the defense on the other end, and it's kind of crazy that more people aren't talking to Andrew Jones.
All right, well, never mind then.
Well, and it's to this point, even when you want to say, oh, we're telling the story of baseball, this and that, people forget you still do play defense half the time. And don't take that into account.
And he dominated that side. I mean, he took away so many runs.
I think there's a number of people who are in the Hall of Fame because of their defense. Now, not many. I think Brooks Robinson is. Ozzie Smith is. You look at their offensive numbers, and they were not terrific. But there were. I mean, you think I'm wrong on that? Aren't there a few that are in there because of what they did defensively? And I guess maybe there's not a bunch more, but those two jump out to me.
Yeah, but you're shortchanging Andrew's offensive numbers by even putting him in that category. His offensive numbers are actually pretty good.
All right. I guess I got to look at the whole ballot from yesterday. Are you okay with Big Papi being just one going in, a class of one, only child? I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm surprised at the Jeff Kent thing and the Andrew Jones thing, but yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I thought it was cool last year when they're like, nope, nobody.
Yeah.
These baseball writers are so in love with themselves.
Yes. So do you agree that the election process needs to be expanded?
Yeah, I would like to see that.
All right. The ballot, by the way, the one guy that got in was after the guy who got in. I'm looking at just who's on the ballot.
And, of course, Scott Stigler is reminding us that the voting criteria does say integrity, sportsmanship, and character.
Well, that's fine. And that also, too, can be changed. And it's a good thing Ty Cobb's in there. All right, what's going on in high school sports? We're getting there. Now 2 family members or friends or 2 people per athlete can go watch a kid play, right?
That starts, that's the change, right? So two like the Belen model, 2 spectators per coach and per player, and then they're hoping to be back to just normal following that. So, I commend Adrian Ortega and the leadership there at APS. They said the intention was always for it to be a short pause to kind of just get numbers under control a little bit, and it seems like that we're seeing that, right? They've already pivoted now to this blend model, and they're already looking forward to fans in the stands again. So I know everyone was out with their pitchforks, but, I think Coach Ortega did a great job there, kind of leading the district through that.
And you think it's kind of going on the model that he said, a few weeks and maybe within a couple of weeks. I mean, I guess who knows? We're waiting for the trend of this pandemic. But if you watch what's happened back east, the states who were hit hardest first are now trending down, and we've been tending to be about 2 weeks behind them.
Right. So, it's tough, man. It's tough. I wouldn't want that job.
No, it's tough. All right, let's talk about what's going on then in high school sports. The biggest issue or the biggest surprise this week for you in high school basketball around the state was what?
Biggest surprise. I don't know if I saw any surprises, to be honest with you, Jeff. I think teams are starting to really show us who they are, and I think everyone's kind of getting in a jockeying position to chase down Las Cruces. I know everyone thinks we're going to have a Las Cruces Volcano Vista final, and it's bound to happen, right? 2 undefeated teams. But I think those other teams are getting in a position, and when I say those other teams, I still mean Sandia, La Cueva, and Atrisco. Those are kind of the 3 that I'm limiting to now. They're kind of getting in a position where they're getting healthy in Atrisco's case. They're playing well and getting healthy in Sandia's case. They're finding their rhythm in La Cueva's case. I think they're getting ready to make their runs. Las Cruces is hitting the part of their schedule that gets them every year. They're not playing anybody. Their district is just awful. Coach Benjamin won't try to convince you otherwise. So not only do they not play anybody this time of the year, but their max prep ranking actually goes down because their strength of schedule is so weak right now. So there's a good chance if Las Cruces finishes undefeated, which they will, and Volcano finishes with 1 loss, you'll have the same exact scenario where the Albuquerque school will get the 1 seed based on their strength of schedule and their max preps rankings, and Las Cruces will find themselves looking at a 2 or 3, and then we'll have Coach Benjamin lose it like he did last year.
There was a couple games last night, busy schedule, but I'm focused on, of course, got to ask you about Del Norte and Valley Victory for the Knights, but 2 teams that probably going to run into each other late in the season.
Yeah, Del Norte's really starting to find themselves. They have Shane Dumas-Sanchez back now. Valley is such an interesting team. They got off to this great start, and then I think everyone kind of discovered that, man, you just got to speed them up. They're not comfortable playing very fast. Valley's got one way to win right now, and that's just to just slow it down and just bore you to death, basically. And as teams have discovered, when you speed them up, like Del Norte did last night, Valley doesn't have an answer for that.
And another one of those games in, Chisco Heritage continues to play very well, beat Cleveland 64-49. I know it's something you touched on. This Cleveland team, not quite the level we've seen in the past few years.
Yeah, that's definitely not the Cleveland we're used to. They're young. They play very young. I know Coach Jimenez is a little frustrated. He thought maybe they would be able to turn the corner just because of their tough schedule, and let's be honest, that's what he's used to. But I think this team is really showing its youth. I think they'll be okay next year, but I think they've officially gone fishing, JJ.
Gone fishing.
Hey, Sebastian, before we go, last thing I want to ask you, I want to go football. Landrick Brody got hired by West Mesa. Former Lobo, he was coaching in Northern Arizona in the IFL. He's been a Gladiator coach. I love seeing a guy work his way through it, stay in this community, want to be in the community. It feels like a pretty good hire at West Mesa. What are you hearing about Landrick?
Yeah, I would agree with you, first of all. I would agree with you. Yeah, he's a great guy, and I think it is a great hire. He's going to build things over there, that are way before football. I think you'll see some football success eventually. But he's one of those guys. He's all about team building. You could talk to him about team building and team dynamics for hours. Of course, the big question is, does his son go with him? His son is quite a basketball/football player, so he would instantly become West Mesa's best football player and West Mesa's best basketball player on campus. So that'll be something to keep an eye on.
All right, keep an eye there and keep an eye on ProView Networks. What do you got going there that people need to see?
Ton of games. I mean, we got a lot of girls' games today, so we switched to some girls' action. Cibola Rio Rancho is an interesting one, and the two boys' games on the slate today: Highland at St. Pius, Sandia at La Cueva. Those are two really interesting matchups. Sandia, that pretty much takes the driver's seat of that district if they win that. Highlands looked very good, but shaky down the stretch of some games. Pius has been playing well, so I mean, it's hard to find a bad game these nights.
All right, enjoy it. We'll talk to you next week. Catch him over on ProView Networks. Go to ProViewNetworks.com and figure it all out there. We'll catch you soon. Sebastian, thanks for the time.
Be good, guys.
Sebastian Noel, ProView Networks. All right, when we come back, we'll get back in. I got a bunch of correspondence on the Hall of Fame stuff. We'll get you back into that conversation because that seems like it's got you fired up. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Hey, parents, good news. Kids age
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage...
Because,
hold on.
Wait a minute. You realize what time it is, right?
Vikings Insider. Hey, Marie.
Former vice president of Cleveland Browns operation, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has become the new GM of the Minnesota Vikings.
React. 505-246-06.
I know you all care.
What does
Thank
that
you.
mean for the coaching search?
We don't know, but hopefully... I have no
So you
idea.
hired the Browns assistant GM?
VP. Yeah. Of operations. So let's go,
was
baby.
he responsible for bringing in Faker Mayfield?
Who knows?
Oh, there you go.
Baker Mayfield or Kirk
Excited.
You're in great hands now.
We're
Congratulations
in great
to you.
hands. Can't wait.
All right. Good
Thank
for
you.
you.
Thank
All
you
right.
for having that spot time.
Hall of Fame class of
We
22.
need to get a sounder built for that.
I'll work
like
the
the
horn,
Vikings horn,
the Gallahorn.
and then
I'll work on that.
Is that our breaking news?
so we can have our Vikings drops.
All right. By the way, and as I told you, Ortiz won't be alone because there's the Veterans Committee and the Golden Days Committee. Stigler's deep into the Hall of Fame stuff. So Stigler told us that these guys are going in 2022. Bud Fowler. Damn, Gil Hodges. I figured Gil Hodges would be in. These are good names, actually. So you don't think so?
I don't know who those two people are.
Gil Hodges was a long time Met. He was a manager. Jim Cott was a terrific left-handed pitcher. Minnie Minoso, I would have for sure was in. Tony Oliva might be one. Is Tony Oliva considered like the best Minnesota Twin ever after maybe Kirby Puckett or even with Kirby?
Yeah, I was gonna say Kirby Puckett.
Harmon Killebrew. Harmon Killebrew.
Kirby.
Justin Morneau and an MVP.
That's of your generation, but
Yes.
but Tony Oliva and Harmon
Catcher.
Killebrew.
Sure.
What's that?
Didn't Justin Morneau win an MVP?
Yeah, but
Or who was the catcher for those Twins teams for a while?
That's
Yeah, I
that's
forget
fine.
his-
I don't think he would be one of the best ever. And Buck O'Neill. So Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, and Buck O'Neill are also going in with Big Papi. But Stigler gave us, he said, look, the criteria the writers have been charged with when voting for those who enter into the Hall of Fame. Voting shall be based upon the player's record playing ability, and Stigler, in yellow, put integrity, sportsmanship, character, unyellowed, and contributions to the teams on which the player played. Now, he says, granted, Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, and many others have character flaws, but in this era when your actions are widespread public knowledge and your actions cheat the game, there's consequences. Bonds is hated not only because of his demeanor, but because he broke the record of an iconic hero of the game under the obvious violation of the rules. Rose isn't an average fan on DraftKings. The embrace of gambling today has nothing to do with his candidacy. He managed a team and could be compromised by which side he bet on. Unless the people who vote change, A-Rod has no chance. Wow, there's a lot there. Okay, so what's that?
So that's a pretty good response.
No, it's a great response. It's a great response. Here's where I would go on the Rose thing. Okay? Because I agree when somebody else said, well, he never bet against his team. Right, but what does that tell you? On days he bets for his team, I bet on my team when this guy's pitching, but I'm not placing a bet today. Well, is that him basically saying bet against my team? Well, he may not have. And by the way, at that point, and it still is, betting on baseball, betting on games in which you are a participant is prohibited by the rules of the game. Even today, with casinos and everything else, even betting on your team is prohibited by the rules of the game. You can't, if you're LeBron James, you can't bet on a Laker game. Okay? But I would still tell you he should be in the Hall of Fame with all that there, and I believe he shouldn't be able to make a living. He should be able to work in baseball. To me, that's the compromise. The guy's got more hits than anybody in the history of the game. Bonds is hated because he was a jerk to everybody who covered the game, and those are the guys who now control his fate in regards to the Hall of Fame. But he did also absolutely alter his playing competitiveness by cheating. Now, the argument is so did everybody else. Opening Drive continues on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Contact the program with NFL Network now on the Westwood One radio.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
Hi, I'm Joe with Everguard Roofing and Solar, and I'm proud to say I'm standing next to our University of New Mexico Lobo football quarterback, Terry Wilson. We at Everguard Roofing and Solar are active in our community, and we love the Lobos.
What I love about Everguard Roofing and Solar is their commitment to excellence, and that's what I'm all about. That's why I support this company, because they care about the people of New Mexico.
A hole in your roof or a whole new roof?
Go Lobos!
Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone.
Modern era who will go in. So we're going to continue on that. Lobos lose on the floor last night of the pit, 65-60 to Fresno State, down 17 in the first half. Got to within 2. Were within 3 in the final minute and had the ball. And KJ Jenkins got a good look, and it just did not go. 3 Lobos in double figures. House and Mashburn again, along with Jay Allen Tovar. The good performance by the Lobos in the second half. Good job, good effort. Look, they're 0-7. I get it, and I'm sick of it, and I know you're sick of hearing it. This 0-7 is a totally different feel than last year's 0 whatever team they were, but yet you got to win on Friday.
Must-win game on Friday.
San Jose State.
And okay, we'll take a step back. Win however you want. That's fine. Get that W because you have none in conference play so far. But watching this team feels different than other bad teams
100%.
For the Lobos.
All right, what do you got Richard Pitino queued up to say? Oh, I guess I should alert you on that, huh?
Got Patino resetting this post game, his thoughts on what transpired over the 40 minutes against Fresno State for New Mexico.
New Mexico falls to Fresno State, 65-60. We can tell you what else is going on around the Mountain West.
Stop.
They're late in the second half, a minute and a half to go in Fort Collins.
Thank you,
Colorado
Rob.
State 72, visiting Nevada 63.
Is there a pause button on that?
In
Robert Portnoy joins us here on the opening drive, giving you a rundown on last night's Mountain West action, which Colorado State beat Nevada, by the way, and Boise State was a winner over Wyoming, while Air Force was a winner at San Jose State. All right, you ready? Now you got Richard.
In the second half, I didn't like the team on the first half at all. I just, we keep saying that we have to find a way to win a game or we're not making shots. And I did think we missed some open looks, but that happens. I mean, you play the game long enough, it happens. And we had times to get stops, and then we didn't get rebounds that we needed to. I mean, it just, I think we reverted back in a lot of the things that I thought we were really progressing on. Fighting back from 17 down was great, but if we want to move forward, we need to find a way to get that win, especially with Robinson. Now, he came back in the second half, obviously, but he's still really, really good, even hobbled. But we got to find a way to do it.
I think you got to find a way to win, period. And I think the way to win, JJ, I don't know if they're going to win games when they don't make shots. Like this particular, really, Jeff? They're not going to win when they don't put the ball in the hole. Like making shots, they got to knock down outside shots. And Javonte Johnson, I think, was 0 for 6 from 3-point line last night. Like, I'm not pinning this loss on him. I thought he played well otherwise. Some days your shots fall, some days they don't. I think for them to win against a good team, and that's the top 7-8 teams in this league are good teams, they got to get 15 to 18 points from somebody besides Mashburn and House. And the main candidate for that is going to be Javonte Johnson or KJ Jenkins. And they didn't get that last night. So when you say we got to find a way to win, that to me, that's the formula. I thought they played good enough defense in the second. I thought they played good defense in the second half. I thought their defense created offense for them. I thought they played well. I thought House got to the rim. Some turnovers were costly, but we got to find out a way. I mean, that's the way. I don't know that they can, as thusly constructed, as thin as they are up front, especially against a team that's got that kind of size. I don't know they can win a game in this league against a good team without making shots.
Yeah, because there's no margin for error. You hear that term a lot. You're like, well, what does it mean? Yeah. Well, for the Lobos, they're not going to play 40 minutes of good defense. It's going to be in spurts. And you saw that in the second half where they were plus 10 over Fresno State. After Fresno State, they hit 12 of their first 15 shots. And so there's an element of the game of basketball. You're going to have runs, you're going to have shot making. But this specific Lobo roster, teams are going to have moments of very high percentage against them because of the lack of size, not just inside, but on the perimeter. This is a small basketball team on the outside, so that allows guards to get inside also. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to have those challenges, those moments where it really looks bad. So that's why the one thing that this team can be really good at when it's clicking is three-point shooting with the players that they have. And so when you don't have that number, you're not going to be able to knock off a team like Fresno State because it was right there. Like, Robinson was hobbled. Like, that was the game. Like, he wasn't there. You had more experienced backups, which was kind of the difference you saw from Fresno State in the post, even without Robinson. But it's just going to take a moment of, and even a little bit of getting a bounce to go their way.
No doubt.
Because they came all the way back. I thought, you watching that first half, you're like, oh,
this could be
this one going to be one of those UNLV games? And it wasn't. And they came back on them, had the shot, missed the shot to tie the game.
Here's another effort piece to you. And this is a horribly undersized team. What's been, if you would say there was one consistent theme statistically this year, what would it be? That they get out-rebounded every game. Did you look at the rebound numbers? Don't look. What would you think they are? What do you think the margin would be before you look?
Well, your tone, I'm going to assume maybe they were -5 last night?
-1, 32-31. They got out-rebounded by a much bigger Fresno State team, 32-31. In fact, New Mexico had 10 offensive rebounds last night. So and I don't think anybody is questioning effort and what it can be, I think you could put that to rest. Are they buying into what this coach is selling? I think you could put that to rest. Now they just got to get over the hump. Now, there was one possession late in the game where Fresno State got one of their 7 offensive rebounds where I thought it was just a killer. I thought it was a one-possession game, and I played a really good defensive possession. And it was an offensive rebound. I was like, oh, that's just a killer. It was a one-point game. You're going to get the ball back again. And that's how it swelled to 5. But look, if you don't feel differently about where they are now, I guess I can understand it because you've been through this for how many years in a row now? But if your eye test doesn't tell you this is a different and whatever team than the and whatever team you watched a year ago, I'm not sure what you're watching. There's hope. You got to understand that they're down. And Saquon Singleton's not playing. This is 3 games in a row that they're without a 6'6" energy swing guy who rebounds and rebounds and is long on the perimeter. And I don't know when you're getting him back. So you're essentially down. I don't know if you're down 4 starters, but would you say you're down at least 3?
Yes.
Right? I mean, whoever would be your center, certainly Muscadin was a starter, right? I don't know if Valdir Manuel would have been a starter. Quach was starting. Singleton was starting. So you're down 3 starters. You're down all of your size. You're playing 2. Well, Barimasek didn't play at all yesterday, did he? He didn't get off the floor. You're playing a walk-on big guy to try to guard an NBA player. I mean, Jordan Arroyo was out there trying to guard Orlando Robinson. With all, and by the way, I thought that block that he made on him was clean, where he got called for the foul underneath. But you got a walk-on guarding a guy who's probably playing in the league next year, right? That's what you're doing. That's what you're relegated to. And I think most of you understand that. You think that's where most Lobo fan is?
Yeah.
But it sucks losing. Like, I get it. Watching them, the good job, good effort thing only goes so far for you. I get it.
The UNM good job, good effort Lobos.
Yeah.
Fell at home last night.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. I got a bunch of Lobo stuff. Lynn says, bad body language. What does that even mean, Jeffy? That's what I used to hear about Coach Sanchez. Girls don't want to play hard for her because she had such bad body language. Where did that? I mean, I'm with you, Lynn, in some respects, but where did that come from? Like, what prompted that? Was there a body language
said in that comment we just played about body?
No, this came in earlier. This morning. I know that's what we were hearing about Jalen Tovar earlier this year, right? Look, there's something to be read into body language. I think there's a value in that. I think there's something to it. I don't know that should be the entirety of your evaluation of somebody's performance or somebody's acts. But we did hear that about Yvonne a lot. I think there's. I'm going to guess it was the J. Allen Tovar conversation from yesterday. I don't know. Richard says the band equals Orlando Robinson, Jeff. Jeff, the band returned after 2 months and sounded rusty. They just kind of limped up and down the field like the Fresno State Center. I realize they're dealing with issues like masks and mandates. Other bands across the country aren't. But Lobo basketball has so little margin of error right now. Every misstep is magnified. It's from Richard.
They were all right on Saturday.
Tell me that was written in sarcasm font.
100%.
All right, thank you. Dan says on Juan Jose State, I think Jeffrey Ana Maria, I think Lobo basketball is capable of beating the Spartans. In fact, I will take them by a touchdown, 71-64. Okay. And Lobo Hobo says, Lobo basketball play-in game, barring any rescheduled games popping up, Lobo basketball has 9 to go and is 4 lengths out of the 5 hole. Even if they run the table from here, they're still looking at 4 days in Vegas, right, Jeffy? Yeah, I think you should. If you're planning on going, you should get there for the first game. Yeah, I would tell you that would be your safe bet, right? Or you may miss them completely. 505-246-0610. I'll get back to what you have to say. I want to get back into the baseball conversation as well because I got a few on those to get done. It's the opening drive, and it's yours the rest of the way. We're on ProView Networks at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
green. And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Sports Animal. Well, you sure do love you some Lobo basketball, don't you? Ken says, how presage was this, Jeff? OD colors are prime. Who said Lobo basketball would be returning from 72-20? Would bounce back returning from, and that exactly what we saw. A tired team that was hard played in Laradice, that didn't have enough left in the tank to beat the depleted Bulldogs. I don't know that anybody said that.
I don't think they were tired at all.
Like they came out and they were down 26-9. Are you telling me
that they were tired in the first half, but not the second half?
Is that what I mean? What am I? I don't understand that, Ken. I mean, yeah, they were on the verge of getting run out of their own built, and then they came back and had a shot to tie the game in the last 45 seconds. They just run out of gas? They didn't hit a shot? I mean, is that why they didn't hit the shot? They didn't hit shots all day. All right. Rod says Lakers are going to be fine, Jefferson. Remember, some folks were panicking Christmas. Why? December games are meaningless. There's like 8 months left in the season. The guys from the Forum are going to be in the tournament, and they're going to be a hard out for the unfortunate club facing them. Okay. John's in on the Lobos. Morning, peeps. Well, for the most part, I agree with you, Jeff. But I also saw Jenkins make a big three, then take three more ill-advised threes, clanking them badly, as did Mashburn and House after making a basket. It seems like for every score the Bows make, they force up several shots before they score again. I'm also wondering why the mantra is undersized team, yet have a few guys 6'8" or bigger. The Big Sweet is decent, and Arroyo is pretty physical. But all they need from them is defense and boards and occasional but consistent scoring. Pero que sé yo. Oh, by the way, those multicolored pastel shoes must have had JJ jumping for joy. It's from John. He's your new guy. All right, so I would. So here's undersized. Here's why you're undersized. You're starting a 6'11" Swede who's he's not ready, man. And it's on the job training, and I guess he's getting better every day. And I would give you he's getting better every day. This was a guy that you were either going to redshirt or was going to sit there and play a few minutes, and you certainly weren't counting on. After that, Alan Tovar's 6'9", but likes to play outside. Arroyo's 6'6", and he's a walk-on. I mean, you can tell me he's pretty physical. But the mantra of being undersized is not just a mantra. Look at him. Look what he's throwing out there. I mean, there's times where you have Javonte Johnson is your biggest guy with House Mashburn, Taryn Todd, and KJ Jenkins, right? Or Alan Tovar. If Alan Tovar and Javonte Johnson are your front court, you are undersized. Now, you can tell me that the Big Swede, Forsling, yeah, he's 6'11". I'll give you that. He's big.
7 foot, Jeff.
Is he 7 feet?
Listed at 7 feet.
I thought it was listed at 6'11". I stand corrected.
Big
I was wrong.
7.
I apologize for the factual error.
Give him an inch.
I thought I saw him listed at 6'11". Is that right? Right.
Maybe it's with shoes and without shoes.
Whatever. It depends what shoes they are. Yeah. Those pastel shoes. But and on the ill-advised threes, I mean, if they go, they're pretty well advised, right?
We're at the point too with in close games, this team losing, you're going to overanalyze every possession.
I agree.
Like basketball is a game where you're not coming down every single time saying, "Oh, we just had 7 passes and we got an open shot." Would you like to have that happen? Sure, but times you're going to take some tough shots. You're gonna thinking, "Oh, I'm in transition. Let me fire this one up." Like not every possession is going to be like textbook fundamental basketball. But when you lose close games, as a fan, you start seeing that and going, well, why would you take that shot in that instance when you needed this?
They're pretty good shots when they go, right? It's like the decision to go for it on 4th down. Oh, gutsy, great decision when you make it. Idiotic, what was he thinking? Risky decision when you don't. It's like anything else, man. When you get the right result, it's pretty good. When you don't, it's a bad decision. Lobo Hobo says, chew on this, Jeffers. Lobo basketball has not won a game since December 21st. How the mighty have fallen. Okay, facts are facts. Understood. Rod says, OD in Vegas, Jefferson. Does that mean an extended Sin City stay for you and JJ? I don't know what it means in regards to that. I don't know if it means anything.
I'm coming home.
Are you coming home?
After the women's tournament.
Is that when I'm going? Or am I mean, if I'm going.
That's a long time in one city.
That's a lot of Vegas, man. It's a lot of bleeping Vegas. Yeah, it is. All right, so you can get in on that, and you've been pretty vocal on Lobos today. 505-246-0610. The other big topic this morning certainly has been the Hall of Fame. And I'll reset where I am on this. David Ortiz getting in is a separate conversation than Bonds and Clemens not. Okay? Separate the two. I know those of you who are really angry and think it's a joke and all that. I get it. You can't separate it. But you must. Because they are separate. One has nothing to do with the other. Ortiz didn't take away from Bonds. Okay? I'll agree with you who believe in Stigler's on the other side, that those guys should be on their 10th run, on their final run. I think they should have gotten in. I think if you're going to tell the story of baseball, I think if you're going to tell the story of the game, I don't believe that you can completely ignore that era. I understand why they're not. I understand why people have not changed their opinion on Bonds. I'm over it. I was pretty adamant 10 years ago. No way, he cheated. He's a jerk. And by the way, I still think he's a jerk.
You're a jerk.
And I do believe that that's a big reason he didn't get in, is because the people to whom he was a jerk are the people who hold his Hall of Fame future. And they said, no, you're a jerk. He was an a-hole to reporters. Writers are the guys who vote for it. But ultimately, if you're going to tell the story of the game, the guy who hit the ball the best, the guy who hit the ball the farthest the most home runs, most hits, to me, should be in the Hall. Now, you'll tell me, Jeff, their story is in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose's bat or whatever when he got the Ty Cobb breaking hit off of Eric Schau back in 1980, whatever, is in the Hall of Fame. And Barry Bonds' ball or whatever, his hat that he wore when he... So the story's there. They're not. Okay? That's where I stand. Wherever you are, I'm listening. Hello, Joseph. How you living?
Thank you for taking my call. So I was at the Lobo game last night, and I know we were down by 16, but I think I liked how we fought coming down the stretch, and we were only down by 3 with about, 50 seconds left. And I thought we could have won that game.
Could have. Yeah, you could have.
And then the whole Barry Bonds situation. If you take in Major League Baseball, if you take performance-enhancing drugs, I think you're out. I think you're done. I don't care if you hit 1,000 home runs.
All right, so Joseph, a couple things there. So does that mean that whole era, that anybody who is suspected, Bonds has never tested positive, Bonds has never admitted to it. You think he did? I think he did. Everybody thinks he did, but he's never been proven to have done it. Do you take that whole era? None of those guys? Nobody from that era? How do you know Ken Griffey Jr. didn't? As much as you think he's a good guy and he didn't do it, and I love Kenny and I don't think he did, but maybe he did. How do you know Bagwell and Biggio and all the rest of the guys from that era? What are we doing? Are we just eliminating that 20-year period?
I mean,
what are we doing?
I think you have to.
All right. I think you can't, but we'll different opinions. Joseph, thanks for your call. When he says you have to, how can you? How can you?
Would be, I think this.
Yep.
So I'm going this way. That's all. There's no facts. It's just I think this. It was the era. So let's just.
Until there's ever a day where Bonds says, yeah, I did it. Is our proof solely that his head size went from 7 1/4 to 8 3/4? Yeah. And his body type completely changed? I mean, what is that our proof?
I think that's enough for a search warrant.
It's probable cause is what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But, I mean, you can't eliminate a whole era. I understand where Joseph's coming from. In fact, I was there for a while. I'm kind of over it. Would you say this is true? And I don't think everybody would agree with this. It was a level playing field. That it was there for everybody to do. That, and I don't know how we'll ever prove this, and I'm sure there are studies on this. The majority of players were probably using some sort of performance-enhancing drug. And so they were on an even playing field. The numbers are not fair to compare to other eras because they were enhanced by performance-enhancing drugs. But in that era, they were all playing on the same playing field, and so here's your Hall of Famers. Well, Derek Jeter never did that. How do you know that? Right? Jeter's kind of the poster child. Well, he never did it, right? I mean, he's never been linked to it.
Just vitamins and minerals.
Is there one name from that era, one, that if you heard, oh, he did it, or came out and said, no, yeah, I did it too, that you would be shocked by?
I think just any of the guys that you've just mentioned.
Well, Jeter would be squeaky clean image guy, right?
And
Griffey, okay.
Junior.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't be if anybody came out and said, hey, I know I did that. I mean, here's what happened, and it was going around, and at the time, what we knew about it, it was pretty safe, and, you know, we knew it was illegal, but everybody was doing it, or we knew it was against the rules, and if Derek Jeter came out, and I'm not looking to throw his name under the bus or sully his name, but if he came out, would it surprise you?
No.
It might have 10 years ago. It wouldn't. Nothing would surprise me now.
Steroids don't surprise me with athletes.
And so, to Joseph's point, how do you eliminate the whole era? Well, we just don't know, and we may never know. And so, where I've come to on this, guys, I was there. I'm over it. Compare their numbers to that era. Were they Hall of Famers? You know what you saw if you vote for him. Bonds hit more home runs than anybody in the game. He hit more than Hank Aaron. It sucks for a lot of people, and probably even me, to get there. Aaron, to me, is still the home run king. But stats, history will tell you that it's Bonds. On his last ballot, if you can tell me the history of that game, he probably needs to be in the place that tells me the history of that game. 505-246-0610. Love your thoughts as we go through this. Kirtland Federal Credit Union is New Mexico strong since 1958. They're your home loan leader. They were built in the heart of Albuquerque, and the goal is to help New Mexicans achieve the dream of home ownership with the right loans, local expertise, and a relationship built on trust. Kirtland Federal Credit Union mortgage team is 100% local, and your loan stays local, so you'll never send a payment out of state. Have a question? When you reach out to talk to someone about your new home, you will talk to someone right here in Albuquerque. Meet the Kirtland Federal Credit Union mortgage team. Get started at kirtlandfcu.org/home loan center. You can also check out all their other products, their financial services at kirtlandfcu.org. You can take advantage of the wonderful Independence debit card. Get e-statements, mobile banking, access to 30,000 nationwide ATMs, online banking and bill pay, and incredible security. It's banking made easy, and you can save time and money with those free tools from Kirtland Federal Credit Union because banking should be easy. Check them out at kirtlandfcu.org. Kirtland Federal Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender. Membership eligibility required. See your representative for complete details.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
Hi, I'm Joe with Everguard Roofing and Solar, and I'm proud to say I'm standing next to our University of New Mexico Lobo football quarterback, Terry Wilson. We at Everguard Roofing and Solar are active in our community, and we love the Lobos.
What I love about Everguard Roofing and Solar is their commitment to excellence, and that's what I'm all about. That's why I support this company, because they care about the people of New Mexico.
A hole in your roof or a whole new roof?
Go Lobos!
Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of Pro V Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own.
M610, the sports animal.
The other thing we didn't get into, Edward brought up about an hour and a half ago, the proposed trade between the Cowboys and the Packers that he proposed. Nobody else proposed it. And it'll never hit anything and it'll never go anywhere, but it made me kind of go, that the Cowboys should trade Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb to the Packers for Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. If Rodgers wants out of Green Bay, figure out a way to get that done. Omar says, I'll take Crusher's trade. In fact, I think it was Omar that made the same proposal a year ago. P.S. People are ripping Coach Jones for a little sun in players' eyes and balls bouncing off of the Megavision. Really? When I see games being played in his gyms, or in gyms where it's like 0 degrees and snow blowing sideways, there isn't a club in the country that wouldn't trade venues right now with the NFL's most complete franchise. Okay. Yeah, they got a nice stadium.
It really shouldn't be that hard to me to put up some blinds. I don't know why Jerry Jones is against that. I'm sure you can get a blind sponsor.
I mean, I promise. If it, let me just tell you something. And Edward said guys like CeeDee Lamb come along every year in the draft. You know what? He's right. He's right.
Yes.
There's a guy like that every year. There's a great receiver every year in the draft. There is. You're telling me you wouldn't take 2 years of Aaron Rodgers and start over again, as opposed to what you got with Dak right now? And if you're the Packers, you're telling me you wouldn't take Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb right now if Rodgers says I'm out and that means Devontae Adams is out? You wouldn't do that? I think it would benefit both of them. I think it would tremendously redirect in a positive direction the course of both franchises. I love it. I don't think it can happen. I just don't think it could ever happen. But I love it. I love the way he was thinking. That's why, to me, that was his best call in a long time.
Player for player wise, do in a heartbeat. I like the thinking behind it. You don't want to overvalue what you have if you're a professional franchise. You always have to be thinking, all right, what if?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what could be? Even if you think you're in a good place, you always got to be willing to listen, look around. I think it's qualities of good general managers in sports is they don't just get hung up on one thing.
And they take the emotion out of it, yeah.
Which is hard to do.
Yeah, very hard.
So from a straight player perspective, you're like, yes. But then the reality hits going, you can't trade Dak Prescott's contract.
Especially to a team that is so salary cap.
So you're coming in going, this is what they should do.
Yep.
Player for player, yeah. Okay, that's a good take. That is fun for what we do.
But
how's Green Bay absorbing that?
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know. I love the concept of it.
Yeah.
Grady, good day, sir.
bona fide, controversial-free Hall of Famers of the OD and the AM. What's happening?
Greeting.
It's a little chilly up here in the village. Got some snow on the ground, so, dealing with that, but not too bad.
Good for you.
So, to jump in on this Baseball Hall of Fame thing, it's interesting to me because this always comes up, and the steroid era. And I understand why the steroid era sticks out, but it's not the only controversial era.
100%.
So you have, I know Stigler talked about, all the morality clause basically in the Hall of Fame qualifications, but, was it in the late 70s, those dudes had, the greenies, the amphetamines.
Mm-hmm.
Those things were passed around like candy in the clubhouses. Eras before that, you had segregation. You weren't playing against the best players. I mean, you had restricted free agency. All these other things that could keep a particular player from either playing against the best competition or a player using performance-enhancing drugs, but they just paled in comparison as far as to the effectiveness of steroids.
Or weren't even labeled as such, performance-enhancing drugs.
Right, but bet your bottom dollar that's why those dudes are taking them, because they felt it gave them an edge.
Of course.
And no one's even talking about the Gaylord Perrys, the spitballs, and all these other things.
Yeah, but that was kind of cool cheating, because that was like stealing signs by just if you can get away with the spitballs or Vaseline or stealing signs from the dugout, that's okay. But when you use video or you use drugs, well, now that's crossing the line.
Yeah, and to me, it really goes back to what Sebastian said earlier. Some of these baseball writers, they really need to get over themselves, because to play morality police, what you're doing is, quite frankly, you're making a mockery of your own Hall of Fame, because, hey, steroids worked. They help dudes hit the ball faster. They help dudes work out longer. They help dudes recover quicker. They help dudes add range to their defensive abilities, added miles per hour to their pitches. And just like you said, it was probably more than half of the people that were doing them. Again, but I would imagine that that's not any greater percentage of who was doing the greenies, amphetamines, et cetera. So, they need to get over themselves and really recognize the fact that every era had some particular type of scandal. And if you don't have Bonds in there, if you don't have Clemens in there, it's like, well, you're really shortchanging yourself. Now, with that said, I actually make an exception for Pete Rose, because what Pete Rose did, Pete Rose threatened to make baseball like professional wrestling. Pete Rose actually threatened to take the element of chance out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in a position, now whether he did or not, he never actually said, and not to argue with my guy Tony that's calling in, which is great to hear, he didn't just admit he did it. He went decades and didn't admit
Okay, that's fair. And so I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on when you finally got to come clean, and in your book there is. So why would it be wrong to let him go into the Hall of Fame, but just say, look, you can't be employed by baseball? And I know he would monetize, now his autograph is worth more than it is without that HOF 2022 on it or whatever. But why would tell me the damage to let him into the Hall of Fame, but just say, look, dude, you can't work in baseball anymore?
Really, the damage, and not that it's any more damage than what they've already done, it was a very explicit rule. You cannot bet on baseball.
Yeah, and he violated it.
And he looked him in the eye and said, okay, and then he agreed to the lifetime suspension once he got caught, but now things are different. So to me, that's what makes it more damaging. Now, I will say this. I think his story should be told in the Hall of Fame, just like you said. So don't put a bust up there. Don't have that type of ceremony, but just talk about the all-time hits leader is Pete Rose. And I don't even think you need to go into the detail as far as what he did or whatever. Everybody knows that. Just here is the hits leader, Pete Rose, but don't have a bust.
Yeah.
Don't have a ceremony.
All right, you and I will disagree on that one, and I respect your opinion, and I disagree with it, but we're going to disagree on that.
I'm good with that. And, sometimes you do have to agree to disagree.
That's right. All right, man. Be well. Stay warm up there.
Appreciate the time.
I get that point of view. I do. And I respect it. I'm on the other side of it. Because he did violate that. He did accept. All those things are right. I just don't know that there's a statute of limitations on when you come clean. If Bonds comes clean now, is the Veterans Committee going to let him in? Is what Bonds did and lied and everything else, so that's less egregious. And I agree. Look, the gambling, the integrity of the game, gambling, I do believe gambling on baseball is a bigger offense than taking the steroids that everybody did. I do.
And this one, it's hard because when you talk about it, I think that people that at this point in time are over it can still understand that they didn't like it, but it happened. Mm-hmm. So how do we handle an entire generation of the sport? Like, there's a reason that they're like, okay, we need to wrap our arms around this and get this figured out because this isn't good for athletics. With the steroid controversy.
Pete Rose is 80 years old. All right? You didn't want him to monetize it. You didn't want him to... Fine. How much does Pete Rose have left? I don't know. Maybe he has 10 years, 15, whatever. You punish Pete Rose. You punish Pete Rose. You've kept him out for the majority of his life. He hasn't been able to monetize. Like I got it. You punished him. Tell me, so does betting on your team, is that a lifetime sentence offense? Is that murder? Or when people tell me, does the punishment fit the crime? So he's done his 45 years or 40 years. I mean, if we want to equate this to the legal system, and I don't know that we do, but he's done his 40 years of not being allowed in. Has he paid his price to baseball and society now? Do you let the man in his last few years and let him in, or are you going to put him in posthumously and never let him enjoy that ceremony? Because I do believe one day he's going to get in, whether it's posthumously or whether here towards the end. Did Pete Rose destroy your game? No. Could he have? I imagine we can have this conversation. Has he paid his debt to baseball?
I think that's a very good way to look at it.
I mean, what are we doing?
Paying the debt to the game. You were punished for it. You've been held out for it. Should that erase your playing career?
Let me tell you something. I'm old enough to remember Pete Rose playing. Pete Rose was an unbelievable player. He was a switch hitter. He played third base. He played second base. He played first base. Pete Rose was an unbelievable player and the best hitter that the game's ever seen. He did something that was egregious. Has he paid his price? Is this a lifetime sentence? Is this a 40-year sentence? Should he be paroled? I'm telling you, I think he should be in. The demand for security for homes and businesses in Albuquerque increases every single day. Add to that, some security businesses change the rules for their current customers, and those customers are calling IPS and Aaron Jones, and now Aaron needs more officers. So if you're retired law enforcement, if you are former military, if you have security experience, IPS needs you now. You're going to work for a company that's passionate about stopping crime, protecting homes, businesses, and families, making Albuquerque a better place to live and to work. The number to call is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. You can go to ipsglobal.com, fill out an application online, get world-class training, protect and serve your community. IPS watches my home. They watch businesses. I see them everywhere around town now with this uptick in smash and grabs and retail crime and everything else. Trust them to watch your home. Give them a call, 505-897-2420, or visit ipsglobal.com.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I prefer to do stuff online.
I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's
Sports Animal. This got you going today. I know it did, and it's kind of cool, actually. 2 lines open at 505-246-0610 talking about the Baseball Hall of Fame and who's in and who's not and who should be and who should not be. Terry, what's up?
Good morning to all you. I hope you're having a great hump day. Yes, my wife thinks I'm schizophrenic, so last night I was able to debate myself over the Hall of Fame.
Nice. Who won?
The Sosa McGuire, because, my baseball cards after the strike season went crashed and burned like, stock market. But I was rooting for Sosa. Harry Carey, come on. Then McGuire did it, and then reality set in, and they told us, they were doing funny stuff and all that. But I was sad when Bonds broke the all-time record. I had no problem him taking the single season record. It was already somewhat tarnished, but I was thinking of what Hank Aaron went through, and so, it was probably emotional for me, and I do think all these writers who were covering Bonds, but the minute he broke the record, then they became holier than thou. That's the part, because we don't know exactly who did it. And that's the people voting say, well, this one's obvious, but how many were unobvious? And I did kind of hold the guys not doing something accountable, because they made a ton of money, too, by saying, well, we're not going to snitch on the other guys. well, it kind of did things to tarnish the whole game.
Really?
Because I loved growing up looking at the back of a baseball card. I don't know if you collected them,
Yeah.
Jeff. And seeing the stats and knowing they really meant something. And 40 home runs was great. And, hitting 300 and, I was just a numbers freak. So I kind of went by the wayside. And like I said, for the writers, they voted Bud Siegle again. And then I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when Bart Giamatti met with Pete Rose. Was it the story what came out that saying he was going to suspend him for a year and then let him back in, and then unfortunately Bart Giamatti passed away? Won't know, but I'm like, Rose did it as a manager, so maybe he did bet as a player and all that, but it's sad because he was so fun to watch, even when I was rooting against him, because he played the game the right way. He played it hard and did everything that way. Last little thing, Edward, I mean, he called Sean Payton a coward. I don't know, over the next couple of days, maybe he can call back in, because I'm thinking
I promise you might.
He's not leaving the team empty-handed. I mean,
He's leaving them in a bad spot, though. They're in salary cap hell right now.
Is he the general manager?
No, he's not, but he knows when he's getting out. I don't think he's a coward either, but he does know when he's leaving.
Well, yeah, and he said, I'm leaving now. He had, as I said, he had four-finger Benny Hill playing quarterback, and if the Rams had stopped the infamous Jimmy G, they would have been in the playoffs. Yep. And, there's a few teams in salary cap hell, and, and maybe he will, wind up in Dallas. But he saved that town. I mean, if you were in the middle of New Orleans and called Sean Payton a coward, you're probably not making yourself out of that town.
Yeah. No, Terry, thanks for the... Yeah, no, you're right. Okay. Thanks for the call. He doesn't know that city or that franchise.
I'm not going to the Edward extent of calling him a coward, because why wouldn't he have left before this season then? Like right when Drew Brees left.
Right.
He went through this year. Jameis Winston busted his knees. Like, all right, well, let's see if this Taysom Hill kid can work out. Yeah, he's leaving now when it's not great. But if it was him just pulling the trigger, wouldn't he have done it before this season when he didn't have Drew Brees?
Yes.
Any longer?
Yes. Adolph, good morning, sir. How are you?
Pretty good. Jeff and JJ, I really thought when you mentioned Pete Rose, I've given this some thought. And I actually saw Pete Rose. I saw the Big Red Machine, Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, Joe Morgan, etc. I've seen Gibson, Mays, Marichal, McCovey, all of them in person. And the one thing that I compare Rose's transgressions with, there's one rule in baseball, and we know what it is: thou shalt not gamble.
Yep.
And so I compare that with, if I were to do something that in my profession would cause me to get disbarred, not suspended, disbarred. And I thought a minute, and I just said, well, if I were to essentially engage in prosecutorial misconduct, in other words, prosecute someone who I know fully well
is not guilty,
did not commit that crime.
Yep.
Okay? But I bring the full weight of the judicial system on that person, and that person is convicted. Another thing is, if I were to put a witness on the witness stand that I know is lying to the court and to the jury, we call that suborning perjury.
Okay.
That, too, will get you disbarred, as well as stealing clients' money. And so I thought, and I just said, okay, Pete Rose has been barred for, 40 years. And again, there are some things that there is no reprieve from. You don't get a second chance. And in baseball, it is that. And so I have no problem with Pete Rose never being admitted to the Hall of Fame, even posthumously, because he created this himself.
He did. No doubt. Look, I respect that point of view, Adolph. I get that. I'm on the other side of it, but I respect it and I understand it, because I think I was there for a while.
Let me ask you, if an attorney such as myself commits those offenses that I've previously spoken of,
should they ever be able to
how would you feel about that person being granted a license to practice.
Yeah, no, I'd struggle with it, and I'd wonder, 40 years. Yeah, I would struggle, and so 40 years later, would I say if they learned their lesson? And so I guess for me, the analogous conversation is, I don't believe that he should ever be able to work in baseball again, to be employed by baseball again. So he'd be barred. But to me, the Hall of Fame tells the story of baseball and the players, and he was the best hitter in the history of the game and should be in the Hall 40 years later. That's where I land.
Yeah, we'll simply I'll have to agree to disagree, but I wanted to put my point out.
No, I get it, and it's fair and it's legitimate, and it's the standing conversation. I mean, that's where we are now. So I respect it. I'm on the other side of it, and I don't even totally disagree with it. I get it because I was there. I've just got to a point now where the man's 80 years old. It feels to me like he's paid his penance, and yeah, he shouldn't work in baseball. He shouldn't profit from work, draw a salary. But I got a place in Cooperstown that tells the history of the game and honors the best that ever played, and he was the best hitter I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I know you got to go, but again, I was just thinking, would you feel the same way? Would you hire an attorney who had the history?
No, I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't hire him. No, I wouldn't hire him.
There
And
you
that's
go.
why Pete Rose shouldn't be hired in baseball. Thanks, Adolph. I just think they're different conversations, although they're analogous. I wouldn't hire Pete Rose in baseball, but I think he should be recognized. Great stuff today. Thanks to Sebastian Noel for being with us. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd after that. 2 Men On follows that at 4. We're back with award-winning radio at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Adrian, great work. Hey, Marie, love to you today.
Thank you.
Big day for you today?
Huge day.
All right, be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Joe with Everguard Roofing and Solar, and I'm proud to say I'm standing next to our University of New Mexico Lobo football quarterback, Terry Wilson. We at Everguard Roofing and Solar are active in our community, and we love the Lobos.
What I love about Everguard Roofing and Solar is their commitment to excellence, and that's what I'm all about. That's why I support this company, because they care about the people of New Mexico.
A hole in your roof or a whole new roof? Go Lobos.
Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of Pro V Sports.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport. including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.